It's 2:30. Hey everybody, welcome to Hangin' and Sangin'. I'm Kelly McCartney from the Bluegrass Situation. With me today at Hillbilly Central, Peter Bradley Adams over there in the middle, flanked by Caitlin Canty and Evan Galante as support folks and court jesters in the case of one Caitlin Canty.
Yeah.
We were dishing a little bit before we went live. We'll get that later. So,
Heckler.
yeah, heckler. So, Peter, latest record, A Face Like Mine, came out April?
April.
I got that right.
Seems
I didn't
like-
even write it down.
Seems so old.
Well, it took us like 6 months to get you pinned down to
Yeah.
come on here. We've been trying.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. As long as,
But I'm really
the
glad.
people
I'm
know.
glad to be here. I'm glad these people came with me, and
Yeah, this is cool.
I had to travel so far.
makes it less scary.
So far.
I actually was a little late because I was stuck behind a pedal tavern. I'm not kidding.
Oh, boy.
On-
With the
it felt
Woo
very
Girls?
Nashville. Yeah,
I think I saw those.
Yeah. it was the last block and a half. But
Yeah, the Munbrian. Yeah, it's a killer. I was on driving up Music Row with a woman going the wrong way and a cop on a motorcycle on the corner just sitting there. It's like, God bless you, Nashville.
tourists.
Keep it, well, no, we can't do keep it weird. That's Austin. Keep it lame, I think somebody said this. The Nashville thing. Anyway, so there are a few artists in my catalog that sometimes I'm just like, I just need to listen to them. You're one of them.
Oh, thanks.
Where I'm just like, sometimes like all I want to do is listen to some Peter Bradley Adams.
When you just want to get real down,
Yeah.
real sad.
Yeah, yeah. Or when I'm already sad and I want to not be alone, you're my guy.
Oh,
You're
wow.
my go-to
I'm glad that helps.
But I think, like, I've always felt like we were sort of kindred spirits in a way because we both have lived fairly nomadic. We grew up in the South, but have lived all
oh, that's
over,
right. Yeah.
and we're both sort of spiritually Eastern leaning, and stuff like that. But it's the vibe of the songs too, the themes and the vibe. So let's talk vibe.
Okay.
When did you first sort of start having the vision for what the PBA sound was going to be?
Well, I mean, it probably started back.
It's a little bit there in East Mountain South.
Yeah, no, it definitely started there.
Yeah.
That's when I was experimenting kind of with how to add vibe, atmosphere around like really simple folky Americana chord changes and melody. Just kind of, I mean, it's not that it hasn't been done, but there's something I was kind of going for.
Yeah.
And that's when I started, and then but yeah, I don't know. It's sort of like it is a vibe, and you kind of don't know. I don't really know how I always get there.
Yeah.
But
Did it sort of start just picking instruments that you liked and seeing how you could mishmash them together? And
yeah, and just also experimenting with drones, because one of the great things about writing songs that don't have many chords in them is that you can have drones, and I'm really drawn to that tension of which is in all pretty much all indigenous music ever.
right. Is that something that you sort of brought with you from your studies, your formal music studies?
No.
No, you just
No.
picked it up in your
Yeah,
travels.
or just listening to their music,
Right.
all kinds of music.
All right.
Yeah, the studies gave me a lot of information, which is totally unnecessary and probably gets in the way.
I was talking to somebody the other day who was saying how it's sort of a shame how many artists these days don't read music and couldn't chart their songs and don't know even generally what key they're playing in. They're just like, oh, it's this,
Yeah, but I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do it, but I don't know if it helps me. I mean, it helps me if I want to write parts because I composed a lot, so I can arrange parts.
Right.
And I just wrote a violin piano piece, like 5 short pieces.
Right.
So it helps me for that kind of stuff.
So
But
it's
as
not-
far as like being a singer or songwriter, I don't think it. Other people can write a chart for you.
Yeah, you got all those
They'd
people
almost
on
rather do
guitar
it.
tabs
Yeah,
doing it.
They'd
Yeah.
almost rather do it so they can read their own handwriting anyway. So.
That's true. That's fair.
Everyone's got their own shorthand
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
for charts. But
Yeah. I said this to Andrew Combs when I had him on, but I think it fits you as a singer. To me, and this is again part of why I feel drawn to your stuff in certain moods. But you're like a drummer who just sort of hangs back in the pocket a little bit. Like you're not pushing the beat. You're just right on the back end. And what you've done by creating this soundscape that you have is like you've created this sort of musical world that supports that so well.
Thank you.
That's an observation more than a question, but yeah.
I mean, for me, it feels like I'm just kind of like hiding and trying not to mess anything up. You know? It's all fear. But I mean, if it, you know, and I understand what you're saying. It does kind of sit in there.
Yeah.
But I'm growing weary of just sitting in there so nicely.
Interesting.
So I'm not there yet, but I need to eventually you got to get out of that little soft pocket.
You've been stepping a little bit
leaning
forward
in a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel like you're gonna? What's next? How do you push for? I mean, you have the physical voice, what you're born with. So how do you take that further?
I mean,
you're not a crooner.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's just about trying to not. Is just to sort of find the sound which is naturally. Which, I mean, I can't have a different voice,
right.
So it's trying to find that sound, and also don't. You know, I've spent so much time kind of like styling it and trying to make it sound nice.
Yeah.
Which then you lose the way you really sound. I mean, it still can be effective for some people, and it's still the intention can be there. But so I guess that's been kind of like what I've been thinking about a lot is how to just strip off all the affectation,
all the pretense.
And I definitely haven't figured it out yet, but I'm.
Well, maybe Aoife would have some pointers. Shout out to Aoife O'Donovan.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. We'll tell you later. Well, do you study other singers? Like, whether it's phrasing or
no,
anything
I
like
probably
that?
should. I mean, I listen to. I mean, yeah, I think I'm more and more drawn to the singers that have weird voices.
Like who?
Well, not weird voices, but like like Bob Dylan and
Right.
and Neil Young have such unique,
Distinct.
just fearless.
Yeah.
They just sound the way they want to sound.
Yeah. So at this point though, what's your process for sort of figuring out your phrase? Because I know that was something that you, particularly on the latest record, you sort of were very intentional about your phrasing and some things like that. So what's your process for polishing that up without falling into the pretense?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think you just gotta.
You're a mystic, Peter Bradley Adams.
Well, I mean,
You do know. I've written a lot of songs with Peter, and he's like a construction man. Like when you like the way you said this term, the way the words feel in your mouth, like the way they come, the vowel sounds. Like you're really good at the bricks of building a song. Like the foundation is really strong. I'm like a mosaic maker. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty, and I'm just trying to cobble all the other stuff together, and then have to like figure out how it fits the foundation. But you always have like the good, solid. I don't know.
Yeah, or also it
flow
could be
to the
that I'm
thing.
just being overly controlling, trying to like, oh no, you need to hold that out just a little bit longer, then do the little turn at the end there. I mean, because to me that like it's important.
It is.
But then I'm like possibly squeezing the life out of it, by telling you. I mean, she's had a lot of experience with me asking her to phrase stuff differently.
Well, that's what I'm singing to your stuff. But
Right.
when we're writing, I mean, it's like figuring out the words, and I think you sing based on what the words, what word
The rhythm,
sounds best in the
Yeah,
rhythm
yeah.
in the words. So it's not like you're just reacting naturally to it.
Yeah.
Just sort of. That's how you've talked about it before. Just inserting myself
then,
as a
Then what she said, like, thanks for the help, man. That's how I
full
do it.
backup singer today.
I don't know if we really answered your question, but that was an interesting.
It was a process question,
Yeah,
so the
okay.
answer can be really anything, I
Okay.
think. Yeah. So there we go. All right, well, let's go to themes. Like I said before, you've been a bit of a nomad. You grew up in Alabama, but you've lived all over. You've been more rooted in Nashville past decade-ish or so,
Yeah.
right? So what was it for you that was driving the movement, sort of that search for your place?
Well, I mean, part of it was just purely, just practical. Like, where can I go and work? And LA was obviously where I started. So I went out there to write film music, so that's where I started. And then I ended up forming that band, East Mountain South, and that's where I got started. But then eventually, the place became kind of untenable. It was just sort of too much, and then I'd started to work with Lex Price at that point. It was a while back, and he kind of was one of the main reasons why I kind of jumped and moved back here.
Gotcha.
Plus, my family's in Alabama, so it was kind of closer to them. And then going to New York was a sudden impulse, like, oh my God, I feel claustrophobic here in Nashville.
Right.
And in a moment,
Yeah, because when I think of New York, I think expansive rather than.
yeah. No, I remember the moment when I knew I had to leave. I know where I was sitting and what bar, and who I was sitting next to, and their reaction. And then, like a few weeks later, I was gone. But I was only there for 3 years. But that was great. I needed to get kind of shook up.
Right.
I think I was getting kind of self-conscious here, artistically self-conscious. It's my own fault. And not that I'm still not, but I think I shed a little bit of it when I was up there.
All right.
And I just also felt like what I was doing seemed more unusual up there, maybe it resonated up there somehow.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, certainly being in the South, living in Nashville has changed a lot, obviously, over the past 10 years, but it's still predominantly straight, white, Christian sort of an environment, certain cultural norms and things. So, yeah, someone like you writing songs, you know, having spent time in India and a lot of other places and writing songs with the sort of philosophical bent that you do, I could see how New York might be more.
Yeah, I mean, the whole world is there.
Yeah.
And you feel it when you walk out your door.
Yeah.
You don't feel that in Nashville, usually. And there's some doors you can walk out of when you feel it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But because your songs are sort of ridiculously rich with that sort of, to me at least, what I hear in them is that sort of spiritual seeking and self-examination and that stuff. And I know not all of it is based in your day-to-day reality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's storytelling.
Right.
But you're still in there. You're still putting yourself out into the world to be, you know, under a microscope.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Do you have any qualms about that, or is it just no choice? You just kind of have to?
Yeah, I kind of have to. I mean, I have some regrets about some stuff I've put out, little cringy. Not much. Everyone does.
Because of the
I'm
writing or because of what you revealed?
I think no. Well, maybe both. Or how it was performed or sung, but I've let that stuff go and where was what was the question of the?
Well, just whether you had any qualms about, or whether it was you really actually have any choice to put yourself out there like that.
Yeah, I don't, and also I don't set out to write a song about something ever. It just kind of happens. So, and then these words start coming kind of unconsciously, and then when you figure out where it's going, then for me it's this very conscious, tedious effort to like really hone it in.
Right.
And that's like the harder work part, the less kind of flowy part.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there is some sort of a running kind of theme, I think, going through a lot of this stuff, which...
Yeah. Do you feel like you can express your fill-in-the-blank emotion better through music or through words?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, since I've just gotten back into writing some instrumental music, it's been really liberating in a way.
Yeah. Because melodies can express things that words
Absolutely,
never can touch.
Yeah. And I think that, I've written, a lot of my lyrics work well and they resonate really well with the melody, but you wouldn't want to sit there and read them as a poem. It's not something
Right.
I would ask anyone to do.
Right.
But I don't think
This weekend at the basement, we'll be doing spoken word Peter Bradley Adams.
No, I mean, but I don't think his songs don't have to achieve that. I think that they're sung for a reason.
Yeah. If the overall experience and sort of evocation gets it there, then yeah, I like that. Well, let's let the people hear one of these
Okay.
gems, these musical gems. Which one were you going to do first?
Well, since Caitlin's here, we thought we would
Since
do.
she just happened by.
She just happened. Oh my God, what are you doing here? We have a side project called Down Like Silver. We've only played one gig.
Right.
But
I was going to say, how much of a side? I mean,
We've played a lot together.
We played a lot
Yeah,
together.
And put the
toured a
songs
lot.
in our shows.
Yeah, so we have.
and you do have, is it an EP or a full record out?
It's an EP and then a couple of
Singles?
singles, and this is
Okay.
one of the singles that we put out called Light That Match.
And many in the works. We have some.
Oh yeah, we've got some new stuff
Cool.
on the way. So yeah, we'll do this called Light That Match. Okay, let's see here. Light that match, strike those pins. Knock me down again. Light that match, strike those pins. Knock me down again. Once we rode the waves, sending our hair salt in our teeth. Felt the water break, pull the sand from under our feet. Nothing burns my tongue now, nothing scrapes my knee. I stay out of the sun now, I keep my hands clean. Light that match, strike those pins. Knock me down again. Light that match, strike those pins. Knock me down again. Once we drove all night, wind in our hair, blood in our cheeks. We would cut the lights, race the moon right over the trees. Drink the bottle dry, watch the sunrise out of the sea. Nothing breaks my heart now, nothing moves my feet. No fire in my blood now, I walk the light street. Nothing terrifies me, nothing can shake me. No power in the lines now, no flooding on the streets. Light that match, strike those pins. Knock me down again. Light that match, strike those pins. Knock me down again.
Well, that was lovely. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad Caitlin was hanging out in the
Thank
parking
God.
lot, not doing anything.
Yeah. She was
And-
on one of those
She was on the pedal tavern.
she was on a bachelorette pedal tower.
She's a woo girl.
She just does that. She gets on them occasionally.
They're great time. I'm surprised there aren't like buskers on those dang things. That's the
there's
next
your-
frontier. It's the only one left, I think.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
you
it's
could
the
corner the market.
You have to protect your guitar.
Maybe you need
Yeah.
a hanging and singing
Hanging and Sangin mobile.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Bachelorette deal.
Oh boy. I don't think that would go so well
Okay.
for me.
Is this
but
mine?
that is yours, yes. Okay, we are at the enlightening round. I'm going to ask you questions based on your song titles.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
I wasn't prepared for this.
Few are, but this just shows who's a fan of Hanging and Singing or not, because we do some form of the enlightening round every time.
Enlightening round.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's not fast. It's enlightening.
Oh,
It's a peek into your psyche, PBA.
I thought you were going to talk about my path towards enlightenment.
Well, we can do that too.
No, let's not do that.
Okay, first one. What makes a man good?
Oh,
See how that goes?
ouch. Well, I
get
co-wrote
it.
that with Caitlin. So should we talk? Maybe we can,
I,
we can both answer
she
that.
can answer too.
I mean,
It'll be interesting to have like the male-female perspective.
Do you
want
to know like the?
I want to know whatever you want whatever you want the answer to be. It's as enlightening into your mind, not mine.
Yeah, well, I mean that song is just about kind of feeling stuck and feeling the pressure and responsibility of being responsible, pressure of being responsible, and
Being something that someone wants you to be that you can't be.
yeah, and so like what in the world would a good man, what in the world can a good man do? It's kind of sort of a couple of different meanings,
Right. Especially in the Me Too age. It's a whole other
True.
thing of what a good man can do.
Yeah,
That one.
Not
that song,
molest people, for one.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a good human.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, I think that song was interesting because we were writing it with someone in mind, and then when I took that song and changed if I were to sing that song and change it to "Good Woman," it changed the whole meaning of the song. Like your song felt like a man who wants to do the right thing for someone who loves him, but maybe he doesn't want for life or whatever. It doesn't can see the end too, and he
Right.
gets to the end in that song.
Okay.
but there's too many syllables if you sing what in the world can a good woman do?
It was
so.
a tripping point for us,
What
so it works.
can a
to have
good woman do?
Yeah, that's good. See? It's got to feel right in the mouth.
Exactly.
Oh
or it
yeah,
doesn't-
you gotta be able to chew on it.
Yeah.
Good old
I
piece
think I
of,
just blew out my mic.
an old piece of wood.
Keep the laughing to it.
Yeah, settle down,
Tempered.
Canty.
Settle down, Canty. I've never heard that before.
No. Okay, if you could only have one picture of who or what would it be?
Oh, you went way back. For
I
that
did.
One.
Oh yeah. Don't just you wait. Yeah.
I don't even know what
Man.
that means.
I
One
mean, that
picture
was
is a song.
that was a song about watching somebody sleep, which
Okay, but what's the answer to this question? See,
Oh.
you know.
okay, if
If
the
you
question
could only have one picture, who would it be or what would it be of?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
That's a good question.
One picture.
Uh-huh.
You mean like a picture hanging on my wall when I'm like in a
Sure.
cave somewhere with no light?
Yeah, let's go with that. One cave picture.
I'd probably go for a very large landscape vista. Preferably mountains and
Yeah,
and
I guess that.
large, big sky.
Well, if you're in a cave, you want just like
Yeah.
you want to imagine that you're.
Or if there's just one thing to stare at, it's
Yeah.
got to be something that you can like throw your soul at
Lots of possibilities.
repeatedly and not get bored.
Yep.
It'll keep throwing it back at you.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, fill in the blank on this one.
That was a good answer.
That was
That
a
was
good
a
answer.
really good answer. The longer you run, the more you blank.
I mean,
This is good practice. Caitlin's going to be on when her record comes out, so just know it's waiting for
I
you.
don't think I'm going to do so well
It's like
with
a
this
pop
one.
quiz.
I mean, I think that so I'm not going to go with the song. I'm going to say, the longer I run, then it's like, then I feel like that I realize there's less far to run. There's less, you don't need to run, or there's the distance that you think you're needing to traverse is actually
Yeah.
very small.
It's almost
Longer
like
you
the
run,
longer
closer
you.
you get,
I think it's almost like,
the more you sweat.
for me at least, the longer I run, the shorter distance I've gone, almost. You know.
Yeah. Or you,
In a way.
or
In a
the
weird way.
running was in vain on
Yeah,
some level.
exactly. Anyway,
I'm enjoying this.
Great question.
what's in the heart of a girl? These are your titles, man. This is not on me.
Ouch.
I'm so glad we have that look on videotape.
I mean, really, like,
It's just like,
well, yeah, I'm like,
Because you're thinking of
I'm
the
embarrassed.
old
I
titles.
feel like exposed right now.
it's enlightening.
And what's in the heart of a girl? I mean, what's in the heart of a girl?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. Don't look at me.
You're like,
I'm looking at now Evan and everyone. Like, I mean, that's a. I mean, what I guess I would wonder, like, what you'd like to have in the heart of a girl, or what you'd, and what kind of girl are we talking about here? What sort of relationship? That was yeah, that was sort of one of my typical you know, longing for the inaccessible, you know,
yeah.
unavailable.
Here again.
It's a great theme.
Here again. We're
running
kindred
through-
spirits, Pete.
Running through all.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turning to it.
Okay, last one is what stills your heart?
well, music does for sure, and movement does.
Okay.
I do feel more settled when I'm in motion. But I'm learning to like still it.
To be still and still.
Yeah.
Meditation, huh?
That always, yeah. I mean, meditation is, I don't know what I would be doing without it.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, you made it. You
Okay.
survived.
I mean, I feel like some of those answers were kind of lame, but I hope no one minds.
If we get complaints, we'll let you know,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, second song.
Okay. So we're gonna do a song that I wrote with Kim Ritchie. It's on my new record.
It's her birthday today, Kim
Oh, really?
Ritchie's birthday.
Oh, wow, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Kim.
Yeah.
And anything else I should tell you about the song?
It's on your new
Oh.
record,
It's
right?
on the new record,
on the
A
new
Face
record.
Like Mine.
It's called Stay for a While. Let's try it. Stay for a while. You have come so far. Tell me your tracks if it will ease your heart. You have carried the weight on your own for so long, and the hour is late. And I know come tomorrow you'll be gone. I am not new to the cost of love. Where know come tomorrow you'll be gone. Morning will come in its own sweet time, but until then I will call you mine. And when we say goodbye in the blue light of dawn, no, you won't see me cry. And I know come tomorrow you'll be gone. Stay for a while, you have come so far.
So beautiful. So sad. So beautifully sad and wonderfully. I just love your stuff, man.
Thanks, Kelly.
That was Stay for a While off A Face Like Mine. Peter Bradley Adams, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me so much.
Edmund Galante on guitar. Caitlin Canty on pristine backup vocals. I don't know
Yeah.
why you would ever have
The
anyone
best.
else, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just forget it. Let's see. Next week, we got 2 more shows for the year. Next week, Birds of Chicago. Very excited about
Oh,
that.
cool.
And then December 15th, it's my birthday. We're having a big holiday blowout with Gelman is coming in front of the camera.
Finally.
He's going to play banjo for you guys. But also Amelia White, Becky Warren, Caroline Spence, Wild Ponies, Mary Bragg, Tristan Scroggins. Who else?
How are they all going to fit around this table?
Yeah, I was wondering.
We're not going to, it's just going to be Sangin. I'm going to be hanging
Okay.
because it's my
And
birthday
drinking.
and they're going to be singing a bunch of Christmas songs.
Nice.
A little holiday Kelly-luya, I'm calling it.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Well, last year, we had Holiday Hallelujah with the McCrary sisters and
Whoa.
friends. I was like, how do I top that? Oh, it's my birthday. Kelly-luya. See? And we get Gelman to play banjo, for Pete's sake. He's been dying to get in front of the camera. So we will see you next week with Birds of Chicago. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see Caitlin back in March or April when her record comes.
2018.
I'm so ready for it.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. So we'll see you then. Till then, over and out from Hillbilly Central.